Yeah, ma'am.
Okay. So what is this document about? Is the document that you prepared?
It's the last class homework.
Is this the last class document?
Mom, it's the homework.
Oh, do you mind giving me the access? It's a closed document.
Yeah, ma'am.
Please keep it open, okay? And later, if you want, you can just. You written it too? Nice. Hey, Pradyun, how was your event?
Good.
I heard it's a charity thing, is it?
Yeah. Yeah, ma'am, it is. I mean, yeah, whenever it is.
Okay, nice. Watching TV doesn't affect your vision, is what you want to bring on. Okay, fine. I'll read as I read. I want you to
Wait,
even.
can you tell me
Yeah, I'll
send
give
the
you
link?
text. I'll give you
No,
the.
I didn't find two of those. Kind of like rough.
Okay, so basically, let me give you the context, Pradyun. So last class we were discussing about public speaking, if public speaking as a skill, or public speaking as how do you consider, or maybe like is it important? If at all it is important, why do you consider important and all that? So through which we were discussing, we were talking about it, and Akshat is going to. And the topic that he chose is this: watching TV doesn't affect your vision. So it's very natural. I've set no format as such to begin to end and all that. It's going to be very casual. Okay. So before we actually begin that, Nana, it's not going to be more than 5 minutes. Okay. Let's do meditation, and then from there I will start. Okay. Yeah.
Dear mindful learners, we begin the session by gathering our attention and focus through a body scan mindfulness practice. Taking a moment to allow your body to settle into a comfortable position. You may close your eyes or keep them slightly open. Willing the spine to lift, the shoulders to soften, and a slight smile on your face. Take a long breath in through your nose and a slow out breath. Bringing your attention to the passage of air through your nostrils, windpipe, lungs, heart, and tummy. Repeat 3 more times. Now bring your awareness to the top of your body, your head, face, neck, shoulders. Sensing the back of the body and the front of the body. Sensing yourself seated. Feeling the contact of your body with the chair or the cushion. Now sensing your upper legs, your lower legs, and the feet. Set your intention to learn with joy and presence. Energize your intention with 3 full breaths. Breathe in, deep and long. Breathe out. You may open your eyes when you are ready.
Okay. Okay, fine. Okay. So, Pradyum and Akshit, if you guys are, Akshit, if you're ready, we'll begin, Anna. Okay. So there are two ways in which you can do. You can either talk as a persuasive, speaker, or it can be just a session that kind of is informative and gives information about certain thing. Okay. Akshit, how do you want to, do this?
I'm not sure.
Huh? I'm not sure.
No. I'm not asking Pradyun.
Oh, okay.
Even I'm not sure.
Okay, you can just begin then if you guys are not, if you are not sure, Akshit. Chalo, we already we finished like 15 minutes of our class time.
Ma'am, so I have to read it?
You want to read it? I want you to be a speaker, not a reader. Now you know the difference, right? Can I see your entire face like how Pradyun is sitting? Then you just glasses. Oh, it's just your screen, Anna. Yeah, perfect. Okay, be a speaker. You want to take cues from your notes, please, well and good. Okay. Now see, when I'm teaching, how do I do it? When I'm reading, how do I do it? Like there's difference, right? I can't
Read.
read my, sentences, my conversation sentences. So yeah, I want you to be a speaker now. Okay.
You wake up on a Saturday morning, and one of the first things you do is go to your TV. But suddenly, why are you watching so much television this early in the morning? It's harmful to your eyes. Your parent walks in and suddenly turns off the TV. You resist the urge to say something back because you know you can't. Good morning, everyone. My name is Akshat, and today I'm going to be talking about screens and vision. A common stereotype states that watching TV is harmful to your eyes, and I can bet that you've heard about this before, either from your parents, siblings, or friends. Everyone seems to think that watching TV for extended periods, which may not always be too long, for example, 1 or 2 hours, is bad for your eyesight. They always use the phrase, "you'll go blind," to scare you. But you may have noticed that this isn't always or ever the case. This is because watching the television doesn't exactly hurt your eyes. According to a study by the Los Angeles Times, there aren't any adverse effects shown by children even when watching for 3.5 hours or more every day. Though the study considered children watching TV for more than 4 hours a day as excessive, leading to increased childhood obesity rates, their studies have shown that people who watch for even 5 to 6 hours a day haven't shown any problems with their eyes or any other parts of their body. Now that you've heard all this, you're probably wondering why everyone tells you about how harmful the screen is, even though this is not true. Two things contribute to this stereotype. First is a thought process in which people think that individuals with good eyesight are more prone to eye damage due to them taking part in activities that strain their eyes, and the role that they think television plays in this. For example, a person with bad eyesight would be aware of his condition and wouldn't participate greatly in an activity that stresses the eyes out, like using a phone. On the contrary, a person with good eyesight would use a phone just because he could and there wasn't anything stopping him, for like bad eyesight. This scenario happens with TVs, which led to the stereotype of television harming your eyes. At around the same time, another thought process emerged which stated that people with bad eyesight are affected more by TVs and other electronic appliances because they are believed to be more vulnerable than people with good eyesight. These thought processes took over, which led to such beliefs about television and other devices. The second reason why this myth prevails is that back in the 1970s, General Electric sold some newfangled color TV sets that emit excessive amounts of radiation, as much as 100,000 times more than federal health officials considered safe at the time. General Electric quickly recalled and repaired the faulty TVs, but the stigma lingers to this day. It has been proved by many studies and scientific reviews that watching TV doesn't hurt your eyes. But even while doing so, make sure to not watch in excessive quantities or for extended periods. Thank you.
A quick feedback. So this is nowhere person speaking. You all watch TED Talks, right?
Yeah.
What do you call those people like? Usually, give names, random names.
Speakers,
Wonderful speakers. Pratyun,
people who are good
Yeah,
at speaking.
yeah.
what do you call them?
Orators or something.
Wonderful. Speakers, orators, okay. These are the people usually have the skill to convince or to convey, okay, or to make an impactful, make an impact over somebody else, okay. So this is part of public speaking, like having these things, having the effects of this somebody else after somebody else spoke. That's because they have got oratory skills, okay. They've got good skills that could convince people, okay. And the reason that I made you do this is, Akshat, I know that you might actually read, but I wasn't expecting you to read. I thought somewhere you're going to speak as well. Okay. All right. I am not going there, but last 2-3 minutes, I want you to narrate me a incident in your life that you cannot forget. I don't mind if it's good, bad, surprised, shocking, anything, exciting. Just 2 minutes. I want you to narrate me an incident. Okay, I thought you're going to speak to us because when you're speaking, you can question us, you can use quotes, you can, one way is to question, one way is uh, is maybe starting off with a sentence that we agree and we don't agree, and there are multiple ways in which to do it. Okay, so I don't want to go on this, but Pradyum, do you have anything else to add to what?
No. One more thing, like a lot of the time, like the reason why people develop bad eyesight, apparently the reason is not because of the TV itself, but it's because people who watch a lot of TV, they have a less time to go outside. So since they don't go outside, they get bad eyesight because our eyes need proper light to function.
Oh, so
And like it's not only TV's fault, like schools don't allow you to go outside for a lot of time, so that's also.
okay. All right. Yeah, sure. The content part, I think, is what you're focusing on, but I'm more focused, I'm more focusing on, I want you guys to grow beyond what is being taught in your classes, okay? I know your teachers are there teaching you amazing content, giving you good information. They're very informative, but I want you guys to be beyond that. Think beyond that, act beyond that, okay? All right, that is what this class is for. All right, Akshat.
Yeah.
Okay, but well tried, Nana. Well tried. So, all right. Pradyum, that applies to you as well. Last 5 minutes is just going to be a time where you guys are going to pick up an incident, okay, and narrate it to us. Okay, Pradyum is going to narrate to me and Akshat is going to narrate to me and Pradyum, or share your experience. Let me not put it this way, narration, but share your experience. All right. Okay. All right. So today we are going to do a short story, Nana. Today we are going to do a short story by Collier. Collier. Okay. Let me just go to it. So how many of, both of you, have you heard this word, this term, economic depression?
Uh, Wait, what depression?
Economic depression.
Yeah,
Yeah, ma'am, I've heard of it.
Okay, Akshat, what do you think it is, Nana?
it's like
Like there could be two types, like one economic depression, like when like say you have a stock that falls down, that could be one form of economic depression. Or another form could be like let's say you lost a lot of money
Mhm.
through gambling or like some other methods, and you like went into depression because of that. That could be another type of economic depression.
Okay, and you, Pradyum, quickly.
it could also be like a worldwide thing, you know.
Okay. So economic depression, Great Depression. Actually, there was a time where you label as Great Depression. There was this 1929 to 1939, 10 years of an economic depression. Basically, most of the people experience poverty and unemployment, Hannah. You know, right? What is employment for? If you generate money, you can buy things, right? Again, you can have a decent life, but then you don't have money to buy things. Obviously, there comes hunger, there comes poverty, there is, you know, there's a very low way of living, right? So having to experience, and also majority here I'm talking about poverty, no food to eat, no place to sleep, these basic things, okay? And experiencing unemployment is economic depression, okay? Yes, part of whatever you said. What could be the reasons or the causes for economic depression could be a part of it, could be whatever you told about the stocks. Okay, Akshat? Okay.
Yeah.
Part of it, Nana. But usually poverty and having no jobs, unemployment are the major are considered as Great Depression, which is economic depression. Okay. So this is a story that's set up in Maryland. One second. I'm sure. So this is a story that's written popular, and she wrote this out of her experience. Okay, so she was an African American. Okay, I don't know why is this. Can you see my screen, boys?
No, ma'am.
Now,
Now we can see it.
okay, okay. So basically, the objective of the lesson is to read, and at some point, I want to stop. Okay, I want to stop, and I want you guys to. Okay, let me just go through, and then maybe halfway through, I can explain you. All right, it talks about how do adults and children respond differently in frustrating realities of the world. Like this is a real time story. This is not made up or something. That during the times of economic depression, how was a childhood? She was like around 14, 15-year old. I mean, who's just close to your age. Okay. So do you think this is accurate based on, so that we are going to decide much later after we read the story. Okay, now if you can see here, due to a long history of discrimination, African Americans were the first to see their R's and job cuts. You know the discrimination that usually happens with this African Americans in US, right? Both of you, Pradyum. There's a lot of class bias. There's a lot of color bias, right now.
Yeah.
These people are first targets of everything. Okay, and now today we're going to read Marigold. Okay, now as part of parts of you know um what it is, yeah, symbolization. There's something called symbolization. Okay, now we are also going to focus what actually this marigold, what is the reason for the author to title her story as a marigold. Okay, in which a woman reflects an important moment of her childhood. Why she titled it? So basically, it's symbolization. It's a parts of figures of speech. Okay, yeah, this is the time when Great Depression has taken place. Like I said, And these questions and all, let's answer a little later. All right, Nana. Sure. We will talk about these details later, maybe, but once you guys start reading, while you guys are reading, we'll discuss the story as well. And somewhere in the middle of the story, I'm going to stop and then, see if you guys can take it from there. All right. It can be a written activity or it can be something, that you can make up in your mind and then, narrate it from there. So I am not sure what I'm going to ask you guys. So that will only I'll decide when, depending on your responses and all that. So I would want you guys to take turns while you guys are reading. Tell me if you want to do silent reading, we can go for that. But then if you want us to read it out loud and then, discuss as needed, because we are not discussing each and every point. Boys, quickly decide. Glue. Yeah. What do you want? How should I do this? Are we reading it loud and discussing as needed, or just
Yeah.
recently reading?
Reading and discussing is needed.
Okay, fine. I want Pradyum to start.
Okay. When I think of the hometown of my youth, all that I seem to remember is the dust, the brown, crumbly dust of late summer. Arid, sterile dust that gets into the eyes and makes them water, gets into the throat and between the bare brown feet, toes of bare brown feet. I don't know why I should remember only the dust. Surely there must have been some green, lush green lawns and paved streets under leafy shade trees somewhere in town, but memory is an abstract painting. It's not does not present things as they are, but rather as they feel. And so whenever I think of that time and that place, I remember only the dry September of the dirt roads and grassless yards of the shantytown where I lived. And one other thing I remember, another incongruency of memory, a brilliant splash of sunny yellow against the dust. Miss Lottie's marriage.
Okay. So this clearly speaks about what? Hmm? This is clearly speaking about what, Nana? This is speaking about her.
About the author's hometown.
Yeah.
Uh, can we call it author's hometown as a whole?
Yeah.
Maybe place where she lives, lives or stays. Okay. And is that giving a good impression? Are we talking about a nice, luscious place, wonderfully sighted, pleasantly, described, or does it give you a little,
Ma'am,
you
it's
know,
a negative description.
it's a negative, very good, negative description about the place. Okay, can you support your statement, Mama? Your
She only remembers the bad things about it, which means it couldn't have been good.
good, very good. Okay, wonderful. All right. So, see, I think the fact that I've given you already the context, obviously somebody who's facing, who's in the time of Great Depression, I'm sure they would have not had a great childhood, right? But anyways, good that you noticed. So if you have to be more specific, which talks about and between the toes of bare feet, bare brown feet, I don't know why I should remember only the dust. So this very statement, okay, this very statement, right, talks about, I don't know why I should remember only the dust. Okay, usually as children, you don't kind of, do that, I mean, notice it, right? Just the test. There's so many things that as children you all remember, isn't it? Okay, next. Akshay. Nana, I want you guys to be as explanative as you can get. Okay, I don't want here monotonously talking because I feel this is my class, not Akshat and Pradyum's class.
Yeah. Whenever the memory of those marigolds flashes across my mind, a strange nostalgia comes with it and remains long after the picture has faded. I feel again the chaotic emotions of adolescence, elusive as smoke, yet as real as the potted geranium before me now. Joy and rage and wild animal gladness and shame become tangled together in the multicolored skein of 14 going on 15, as I recall that devastating moment when I was suddenly more woman than child, years ago in Miss Lottie's yard. I think of those marigolds at the strangest times. I remember them vividly now as I desperately pass away the
Okay, so I think of marigolds at the strangest times. I remember that I vividly as I desperately pass away this time. Okay, specifically these lines. Okay, let me frame this correctly. So why are we talking about flowers? And giving her an impression of or bringing her memories of a childhood as not very good memory, especially why marigold, like usually flowers give happiness and something positive, but why do you think picture of marigold or the flashes of this bright sunny yellow against the dust of miss whoever it is, you know gives a very bad feeling. Strangest is what vividly I remember is, and everything is which is not very positive that she's talking. See, if you also see here, I feel again the chaotic emotions, adolescence. Okay, so do you guys think it's not fully answered in this paragraph? It's not, the information is not given fully.
It's not. Yeah, it's not.
Okay, let me just highlight this. Maybe over the time, once we go through, we find we can quickly. Okay. All right. And also, this is something that we should focus on. Okay, why the yard place gives her a feeling that, that she's more a woman than a child. Okay. Okay, do you guys consider more of a man when you're 14, 15 years old as children? Actually, see, now if you see 15, 14 going on 15, maybe she's around maybe just 15, or she's just about to move to 15. So do you guys consider how man, because here the girl already thinks she's more like woman than a child.
No, it's probably true.
It's probably true you guys consider yourself as man already.
Yes.
Not completely.
Okay, based on what? Why? I mean, I just want to know why.
Because we don't beg for things when we go to the store.
Yeah.
So what is another thing? What is another? See, when you also can distinguish between good and bad, or so there are a lot of things to it. Okay, why do you boys, consider yourself already a man than children? Pradhan, you said yeah, and you said yes, and Akshat has given me his answer. What are you doing? What are you waiting for?
Wait, what? What?
Asked you, do you already consider yourself a man or a?
I said yes, I did. I
But
do.
why? Why?
Because
You can answer back to your mom if she's saying,
yes,
oh,
yes.
it's your man.
Also,
Oh,
I can stay alone. I can stay alone at home. Yeah, my mom trusts me to stay at home alone.
okay. Do you guys give? See, how logically now you're giving back is very important. Okay. Your answering is okay, fine, I agree. But how logically you're giving back to it is very important. But anyway, that's a debate for another time. But still, you are boys and you're children, okay? All right, now let's go ahead. Akshat.
Yeah, man.
Okay, I'm sorry, Pradyum.
Uh, yeah. I suppose that futile waiting was the sorrowful background music of an impoverished little community when I was young. The depression that gripped the nation was a no new thing for us. For the black workers of rural Maryland had always been depressed. I don't know what it was that we were waiting for. Certainly not the prosperity that was just around the corner. For those who were white folks' words, which we never believed. Nor did we wait for hard work and thrift to pay off in shining success.
One
As,
second, Pradyum. Read with certain pauses. Okay, make you
as
read.
the American dream promised. For we knew better than that, too. Perhaps we waited for a miracle, amorphous in concept, but necessary if one were to have the grit to rise before dawn every day and labor in the white man's vineyard until after dark, or to wander about in the September dust offering one's sweat in return for some meager share of bread. But God was chary with miracles in those days, and so we waited and waited.
Okay, this very paragraph. This very paragraph. Okay. What is it saying? Just one line, two line, quickly. What do you guys, living condition? And what else? Living conditions, domination. Okay, when I'm saying domination, here she's comparing them, maybe not definitely for the prosperity that was just around the corner. She's being sarcastic, okay. And for those who are white folks, okay, words which we never believed. So she's bringing in them to say that, it's never maybe true for them. All right. Nor did we wait for hard work and thrift to pay off in shining success as American dream promised. So there could be, a kind of promise that could have made by any politician or anything, as to maybe give education or employment or, opportunities, but which never happened. All right. And what else is it largely talking about, Nana? Poverty, lack of food. Okay. Why am I saying here lack of food?
Uh,
Talk about hope, right? All right. So when I'm talking about food, when I say lack of food, see what they are here to offer. So one sweat in return for some, maybe piece of bread or food. Okay. And also, and also, but God, okay. So here they just, okay, not this, the entire thing. And so we waited and waited. That talks about the hope that people have for getting the situation better. All right. Yeah. Akshat, quickly 4 and 5.
Yeah. We children, of course, were only vaguely aware of the extent of our poverty. Having no radios, few newspapers, and no magazines, we were somewhat unaware of the world outside our community. Nowadays, we will be called culturally deprived, and people would write books and hold conferences about us. In those days, everybody we knew was just as hungry and ill-clad as we were. Poverty was the cage in which we were all trapped, and our hatred of it was still the vague, undirected restlessness of the zoobird flamingo who knows that nature created him to fly free. As I think of those days when I feel most poignantly the tag end of summer, the bright, dry times when we began to have a sense of shortening days and the imminence of the cold.
Quickly talking about the future, she's come to the present. That's right, as children, we don't know, and there might be books and things that are written about the present times. At the same, that's one phase of it. And here she's talking about the summers, the end of summers and bright times when we began to have sense of shortened days. When days are short, right? When winters are coming, right? So now she's moved into the present. All right, Nana. Yeah, there's nothing much to go there. Sixth one, Praveen.
Yeah. By the time I was 14, my brother Joey and I were the only children left in our house, the older ones having left home for early marriage or the lure of the city, and the two babies having been sent to relatives who might care for them better than we. Joey was 3 years younger than I, and a boy, and therefore vastly inferior. After each morning, our mother and father trudged wearily down the dirt road and around the bend, she to her domestic job, he to his daily unsuccessful quest for work. After our few chores around the tumble-down shanty, Joey and I were free to run wild in the sun with other children similarly situated.
Okay. Except here, similarly situation talks about what? What similarity is it talking about?
I'm like in the same situation.
What the same situation means?
I'm like other kids were also in poverty.
Very good. Others in poverty too. So if you also remember here, we're talking about only one lady working. So one person working, and the other person still searching work, quest for work. Okay. So here there is also a point where it talks about unemployment, not being employed. Anything else Nana, that I'm missing? All right, never mind. Praveen, go ahead now. For the most part, those days are all ill-defined in my memory.
For the most part, those days are ill-defined in my memory, running together and combining like a fresh watercolor painting left out in the rain. I remember squatting in the road drawing a picture in the dust, picture which Joey gleefully erased with one sweep of his dirty foot. I remember fishing for minnows in a muddy creek and watching sadly as they eluded my cupped hands, while Joey laughed uproariously. And I remember that year a strange listlessness of body and spirit, a feeling that something old and familiar was ending, and something unknown and therefore terrifying was beginning.
Strange restlessness of body and spirit, or body and of spirit, the feeling that something old and familiar was ending and something unknown and therefore terrifying was beginning. Okay. So who is Joy? Joy? Sorry. What is he to the author? Author of the story. Hello. Come on.
Yeah. Wait, what was the question?
Pradhin, if you're not listening to me, I'm sorry.
Okay, wait, what's the question?
Serious consequences for next time. Okay?
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay, but what's the question?
yeah, I'm coming there. So I asked you, who is Joy to the author?
His younger brother.
Younger brother. Okay, that's understood. Are they just two, or are there more than two in the family?
Yeah, but they all like left. The older siblings left. And either they got married or they went to the city.
Good. I was just thinking if you guys forget this, I'll nicely give you one. Okay.
You can't give us that online.
Community, Nana.
You can't give us that online.
I can, I know your house, okay? I can come all the way. Please. Don't challenge me. I can actually come, give you two, and then come back. Akshat, are you sleeping by any chance? Do you also live in the same community?
No,
I'll tell you his address.
What is it?
I'll tell you. I'll tell you his address.
All right, okay, fine. Okay. So what is the time? It's 9:17. Okay, let's just do two more paragraphs until 10. Okay, and we'll wind up there. I will do the narration part and I'll give you a tiny bit of homework. Okay, boys?
okay.
And I am not talking now. I want Pradyun or Akshat to take lead. Please coordinate. Okay, next.
Akshat.
Sir, Akshat,
Yeah, ma'am.
what happened to you?
Nothing.
Hmm.
I'm the seventh one, right?
Yes. No, no.
Oh. One day returns to me with special clarity for some reason. Perhaps because it was the beginning of the experience that in some inexplicable way marked the end of innocence. I was loafing under the great oak tree in our yard, deep in some reverie which I have not forgotten, except that it involved some secret thoughts of one of the Harry's boys across the yard. Wait, what? Oh, Joey and a bunch of kids were bored out with the old tire suspended from an oak limb, which had kept them entertained for a while.
Okay. Elizabeth.
Hey, Elizabeth, Joey yelled. He never talked when he could yell. Hey, Elizabeth, let's go somewhere. I came reluctantly from my private room. Where do you want to go? What do you want to do?
Continue reading, Akshat.
Okay. The truth was that we were becoming tired of the formlessness of our summer days. The idleness whose prospect had seemed so beautiful during the busy days of spring now had degenerated to an almost desperate effort to fill up the empty midday hours.
Does this happen with you boys? Ever get bored of your holidays?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I doubt Pradyun.
And because of that, I had to make an article on why TV doesn't affect your eyes so that I could watch more TV.
That I see. Though you have my approval, your parents might not agree with you, okay? So please make sure you're investing your time in the right place. I might be convinced, but I cannot ask your parents to let you watch. Okay. Anyway, that's good attempt. I appreciate it. Your thought. Hmm. Okay. Well, I'll ask you towards the end. Nana, go ahead, read.
Ma'am, who?
Me. Let's see.
You can start.
Okay. Let's go see if we can find some locusts on the hill. Someone suggested. Joey was scornful.
You know what a
Hey.
locust is?
Oh yeah, I know. They're like
Yeah.
an insect. Joey was scornful. Ain't no more locusts there. Y'all got them all while they were still green.
If you all know how do these people say words, I mean, I don't know.
Yeah. It's
Right?
like
You can actually
yeah.
do that. Because the colloquial English that they speak is a little different, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. You can imitate. I don't mind. It'll be a little fun. Pradyum, continue reading. Be fast.
Yeah. The argument that followed was brief and not really worth the effort. Hunting locust trees wasn't fun anymore by now. Tell you what, said Joey finally, his eyes sparkling. Let's us go over to Miss Lottie's.
Okay.
The
So,
idea caught on at once, for annoying Miss Lottie was always fun. I was still child enough to scamper along with the group over rickety fences and through bushes that tore our already raggedy clothes back to where Miss Lottie lived. I think now that we must have made a tragicomic spectacle. 5 or 6 kids of different ages, each of us clad in only one garment. The girls in faded dresses that were too long or too short. The boys in patchy pants with sweaty brown chests gleaming in the hot sun. A little
I'll-
cloud of dust followed our thin legs and bare feet as we tramped over the brick land.
okay, I would like to stop here. Remember, until 14, until 16 is where, we read. I think we can read a little more. Let's read until 20 and we can stop. Okay. Now the entire paragraph talks about how, what kind of poverty they're all living in, right? A lot that talks about their dresses, what kind of dresses they're wearing and, having no shoes, no footwear, no proper footwear, right? But let's see, why is it, fun to eh, okay. Yeah, no. Go ahead with the 17th one.
Ma'am, me or Pradyum?
Anyway, continue. I mean, we're going to read until 20, until just 20. And
Okay. Like Akshat, you take 17 and 18, I'll take 19 and 20.
Okay. When Miss Lottie's house came into view, we stopped, ostensibly to plan our strategy, but actually to reinforce our courage. Miss Lottie's house was the most ramshackle of all our ramshackle homes. The sun and rain had long since faded its rickety frames.
so tell me what this ramshackle is.
Ma'am, it's like old and broken down.
Dampy places. Okay, yeah, old broken little damp places. Yeah.
The sun and rain had long since faded its rickety frames, siding from white to a sullen gray. The boards themselves seemed to remain upright, not from being nailed together, but rather from leaning together, like a house that a child might have constructed from parts. A brisk wind might have blown it down, and the fact that it was still standing implied a kind of enchantment that was stronger than the elements. There it stood, and as far as I know, standing yet, a gray, rotting thing with no porch, no shutters, no steps, sat on a cramped lot with no grass, not even any weeds, a monument to decay.
Okay, 1 second. Do you think there's a need for us to talk about this para? Some important points that I missed or you missed?
Not really.
No.
I mean, I wasn't following. I'm sorry. There's something that's happening in my house and I got a little distracted. What is actually happening? I only followed until the home that talks about being damp and then, all broken and things like that. Later, what? Why nobody is talking? You all understood.
Yeah, ma'am.
Ayo, Pradyun, Akshat.
Yeah, ma'am. In front of the house, in a squeaky rocking chair, sat Miss Lottie's son, John Burke, completing the impression of decay. John Burke was what was known as queer-headed. Black and ageless, he sat rocking day in and day out in a mindless stupor, lulled by the monotonous squeak-squawk of the chair. A battered hat atop his shaggy head shaded him from the sun. Usually, John Burke was totally unaware of everything outside his quiet dream world, but if you disturbed him, If you intruded upon his fantasies, he would become enraged, strike out you, and curse at you in some strange enchanted language which only he could understand. We children made a game of thinking of ways to disturb John Burke and then to elude his violent retribution.
Who is this person?
I'm the son of Miss Lottie.
The son of Miss. Is his son, are you sure? But why are we calling her Miss?
I don't know.
You sure his son or brother or a person who's just
Ma'am,
staying?
it's son, ma'am. It says in the first line.
Okay. All right. She might
I
be.
think it's like an older way of speaking. That's why.
Okay. So us too, 17 and 18 talks a lot about, especially 18 paragraph talks a lot about his personality, right? Has to disturb John and then allude his violent reputation. Okay. All right. Quickly. 19 and 20.
Yeah, but our real fun and our real fear lay in Miss Lottie herself. Miss Lottie seemed to be at least 100 years old. Her big frame still held traces of the tall, powerful woman she must have been in youth, although it was now bent and drawn. Her smooth skin was a dark reddish brown, and her face had Indian-like features and the stern stoicism that one associates with Indian faces. Miss Lottie didn't like intruders either, especially children. She never left her yard, and nobody ever visited her. You never knew how she managed those necessities which depend on human interaction. How she ate, for example, or even whether she ate. When we were tiny children, we thought Miss Lottie was a witch, and we made up tales that we half believed ourselves about her exploits. We're far too sophisticated now, of course, to believe the witch nonsense, but old fears have a way of clinging like cobwebs. And so when we sighted the tumble down shack, we had to stop to reinforce our nerves. Look, there she is, I whispered, forgetting that Miss Lottie could not have possibly heard me from that distance. She is fooling them with crazy flowers.
Okay, 1 second. So there's a lot of description that talks. There's a lot of description of Miss Lottie and me, the so-called son that you guys are talking about. There's a lot of character analysis that's being made in number 16, 17, 18, and 19. Okay, so that's one thing I want you guys to notice. Okay, now let's continue this. I think we are halfway through. We are almost finished, not almost halfway through. We have like 5 pages more. Okay, so what I thought of the homework I'll give you, Nana. I probably will share this and we'll just do. I have a couple of questions for you to think on. Okay. But before I go ahead with the questions, now as I asked you people, share an incident in your life. That could be a happy incident, shocking incident, surprising incident, any kind of incident. Okay. Because I want you guys to talk, not to read. Okay. Akshit, can I begin with you?
Ma'am, I have to think.
I have given you enough time, darling. You've been UK. You could have done it in entire 1 hour stretch. You have the 1 hour stretch, right? Anyway, see, you talk about anything. It doesn't have to be an incident for sure. Okay, now you read a science concept or anything. Okay, you can either explain it or you can talk in support of it, against it, you know. This is flogging. You can persuade me to stop taking these classes. You can pick that up as well. If you convince me, I'll stop taking. So imagine how lucky you guys will be, just having no classes at all every Tuesday and Friday. Or maybe you can talk about one of your good habit that you developed or you want to develop. How many things?
So today I was like what I was like filming like this like I want to like uh be I was like filming some short video, so I was doing that. So basically before I did it, so like I researched a bit like on lighting, camera angles in a bit, and I got like the first few shots done today. So yeah, I filmed it in my bedroom. So uh,
Nice,
so huh?
nice.
Yeah, I'll go more in depth. So in like filmmaking, there are like different ways to like light, but like the most common setup is like the three light setup. Like so on one side of you there's like a key light. The key light is like the main light in the scene that lights you from one side. The fill light is over here. It's less bright than the key light, but then so it exists to like make the shadows less prominent. And then the backlight is also there, and it's used when it's like dark. So I use like a more dark aesthetic because I wanted my film to be like scary. So that's what.
Nice. This is research. You did your good research of, what angles and, of what
Yeah,
lighting and things like that. Good, very good. That's very
yeah,
informative. Thank you, Pradyan.
yeah. Thanks.
Akshat,
Mom, can I just speak about anything?
what is it?
Can I speak about like anything?
Wow.
Okay, mom. So today we had an exam for Spanish, and people were cheating during the exam. So basically, the teacher went out for like 5 seconds, and then they started exchanging papers. Then the teacher just walked back right in, and he saw two people switching their papers, and they got sent to the head office, and they got in trouble, and they probably got suspended. And then the teacher went out to take them to the office. So then more people started cheating. And then by the time like a third of the class was cheating, and then there was a guy standing outside to keep watch to make sure the teacher didn't come. But then a different teacher came and that guy got in trouble. And the people who were cheating like us didn't know that the guy got in trouble, so they couldn't get informed. And then the teacher just walked back in and caught like 5 people cheating.
With your vocabulary, with your, range of words, with your, fluency especially. Okay, I'm not here checking. But anyway, I'm glad you did speak something because I asked you to speak. Now you see the difference when I asked you to pick, you know, Pradyun, like maybe, he came in with a lot of information that, well, he wants to shoot, but he blindly didn't go ahead because he has got a camera in his phone. He did just didn't go about and did. But he did a little piece of his research which made him, look his video. What aesthetic? What were you talking, Nana? To make it look scary, right? Scary is the word you used, or aesthetic. Pradyun,
Huh?
you mentioned the word, right? A word that to make your video look aesthetic or scary something.
Yeah, I didn't really mention like a specific word. I just said like I just talked about the lighting and stuff.
Okay, fine. Anyway, so see, good. The whole point, of me doing this activity is that,